by now. I'm a big Yu-Gi-Oh fan, so I kind of wanted to do a thing where I essentially talk about Yu-Gi-Oh, but rather than me just sat here just chatting away, I think we play a game as well. And I've picked out my favourite Yu-Gi-Oh game currently at the moment, which is fucking Over the Nexus on the Nintendo DS. I've got it on a bit of a ROM here, and I thought I'd just play it while discussing Yu-Gi-Oh. So yeah, and today's topic that I want to start us off with is Yuma a better protagonist than Jaden Yuki? A lot of you guys out there probably wondering why I bring that one up as a subject. Truth be told, I think he is. Now, whoa there. I want you just to calm down for a second, because banging the table. Because obviously, I'm not saying in any way that Zexal is a better series than GX. Okay, I just want to put that out there. I haven't seen enough of Zexal to make a judgment. What I have seen, I'm not very impressed with it. I think as far as story goes and additional characters, GX is definitely the superior show. But to be honest, I think the two are still the weakest shows in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever. Out of all 5 series, I still think GX and Zexal are the weakest. And I suppose to really talk about why I think Yuma is a better protagonist than Jaden, I kind of need to go back to the beginning and sort of talk about all the protagonists and sort of work up to it. So this is kind of going to be about me just talking about all the Yu-Gi-Oh protagonists that I know and as much as I know about them, and essentially why I think Yuma is a better protagonist, or makes more sense as a protagonist than Jaden in their current situations. But I'm going to just start off by talking about, of course, the first protagonist of Yu-Gi-Oh, fucking Yu-Gi-Moto himself, King of Games. Now here's the thing: they made with Yugi, they made him a school student, yeah, but they made him a gifted gamer. They really did. So he had that, and the thing about Yugi and Yami is that Yugi was kind of very, he's a genius, great gamer, king, master of games and all that stuff. But he didn't really have enough confidence in himself and courage and stuff to put himself out there, which is what Yami was all about. Yami was like, yeah, I'll be your mate. We'll improve each other. Yami gave Yugi confidence, but Yugi gave Yami compassion, which is something that you can see throughout the entire series. And but the fact of the matter is that Yugi's is a pro gamer, and Yami is the king of games. So you kind of just buy into the fact that you kind of just say, yeah, it makes sense that Yugi would win most of his duels because he is a fantastic duelist. He is the champion of Yu-Gi-Oh, of Duel Monsters it is. So you don't really... Oh wait, what was the question? I think it's yes. Yes, I do know. So I thought I don't do duels. Please don't questions. I was like, yeah, I know about Turbo Duels and everything. I've played this game like 60 million times. What I like about this game is you can actually pass over your information. So you can, if you complete the story, but you still have your card, you can start the story again and carry on with your stuff. But yeah, so you kind of bought it at that. Then comes along GX. Now, I kind of see what GX were really trying to do when they brought Jaden along. They wanted to go a kind of different direction in terms of personality. While Yugi was kind of, he was very polite, very nice, very, shy and charming. Yami was kind of very serious, had a very serious tone to him. So when they wanted to do Jaden, I imagine they wanted to do something more serious in terms of, like, not serious, something less serious actually. They wanted to make Jaden more sort of, let's make him more hip and more laid back and more, like the kids would be, really, cool and stuff like that. Which is fine in its own right, but here's my problem with GX. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, it's set at Duel Academy. The whole premise of it is this is a school where students come to become, to start dueling and to learn how to become better duelists, So essentially you've got the protagonist. The whole point of it should be, the protagonist shouldn't be very good at dueling, Jaden comes along, he's late for the entrance exam, But he's also like, he wants to get into this school like desperately. He's like, I have to do this. I have to get into the school. This means the world to me. But then it turns out Jaden's like the best duelist there is. Like he beats Professor Crowler with his proper deck, which everyone was like, holy shit, Jaden must be awesome. He beat Crowler with his super powerful monster, and Jaden was just like, yeah, whatever. And then what annoys me about Jaden's character then is, after he gets into, I should point out, by the way, at the moment, because I'm talking about characters, that my character here, who's wearing Jack Atlas's outfit, if you must know, I've made a Kyber deck, so all Kyber cards, and I'm going to use a character deck this time. At the end of this show, at the end of this episode, I'll ask you guys to make suggestions in the comment below to what deck I should use next, whether it be a character deck or a themed deck that I could do in some regards. And Falero, I swear to God, if you say door deck, I'm gonna punch you straight in the schnoz. Anyway, but yeah, we get to Jaden, who gets into school. He's a fucking awesome duelist. But yeah, when he's in the school, there's all this stuff like, oh yeah, he's in school now, but he doesn't want to attend those boring classes, so he's going to sleep through class because all he cares about is dueling. Well, if that's the case, surely he'd be very interested in going to class. And even when he does do like, oh, he has a graduation duel to progress, he's like, nah, I'm going to stay in Slifer. Why? Because red's cool, I guess. So, not much. I don't like Jaden as a character because there's never any development with Jaden. He's like, he comes in, he starts off, he's like this happy-go-lucky, thinks dueling, dueling's all about fun and it should all be about fun. Good character, good message in that regard. But he's just a Mary Sue. He's perfect in every way, shape and form. And don't start giving me that shit, well, in Season 3, he goes down a much darker path. Well, he doesn't. I mean, he goes a bit dark, which is it seems forced, because here's my theory, right? My theory is, I don't know how you make him run in this. Oh, here we go. My theory is that people weren't really. I mean, I know Jaden's a fan favorite, but I don't think Jaden's as popular as people think he is. Because if you notice, yeah, Jesse, who is another Mary Sue character, spitting image, identical to Jaden in every way. Everything goes shit for Jaden. So what does Jaden do? Goes dark. And then when he comes back from the Duel Monsters realm, they've changed. By Season 4, Jaden has a completely new character design. His character design, even his personality, is more represented to Yugi. My theory is they knew they fucked up with Jaden, that people didn't quite like the formula, so they tried making him like Yugi. They tried giving him, oh yeah, they give him the big spiky hair. They even make his coat flail a bit like Yami. They give him a spirit, like a dark spirit to possess him, and like mystic powers. So they just seemed like they were trying to make Jaden. They were trying to turn. They realized that Jaden wasn't quite going down as well as Yami Yugi. So they were like, oh well, I don't want to listen to you too. They were just like, oh well, we should just fucking make him more like Yami then. So that's kind of how that ended up. And again, and then the GX ends with fucking Jaden trying to dueling Yugi. He duels Yugi, and then at the end of the duel, he's like, which by the way, Jaden fucking lost. I don't care what anyone says. It's like Greedo shooting first. No, Jaden lost that duel. I don't care what people say. Jaden lost. Right? He was going up against Slifer. He was going up against Yugi, King of Games. Yugi won that duel. I don't know how. Oh shit! I don't know how to do these on these controls. Fuck! I don't know the keys. Put the silence away. Use the buttons to shoot. No, I don't want to. Oh, fuck! Ah! I can't do it. Oh come on! Oh, I've paused it. Have I done that? Oh fuck! I've paused the game. Unpause. I'll let him go first. That's what I don't like about this the only detail about this, when you're dueling in the cowboy town, you've got to fucking start a duel like this. Is ridiculous. Anyway, where was that? Yeah, so he lost that duel. Jaden lost. I don't care what people say. But the whole point is, like, at the end of that duel, he'd kind of found himself again. He was like, oh yeah, you know, dueling's about having fun. You know, it's not about being serious. It's about having fun. So the problem with Jaden is he never progresses. He has no progression. To him, he finished Yu-Gi-Oh! GX the same way he started. His character just had that. His character, if anything, his character de-evolved and then re-evolved back to what it was. So Jaden didn't make a fucking difference at all. Oh, you okay, baby? See, even baby's sick of me talking about fucking Jaden. Even he knows that Jaden's a piece of shit. But set that, I think. But yeah, it's. Oh.
I'm sorry, baby.
Oh, mate, I was just doing that. Where was I? But yeah. Should I go?
Yeah, sort it out. If I move.
There we go. So yeah. So even so Jaden didn't have any progression. He didn't evolve as a person or as a duelist. Tell you what, you guys want to see him, so I just pop his head a little head there. Sorry. And to be honest, the person to me who I thought was the star of GX, or at least who should have been the star of GX, is, and this is gonna sound very fucking, this is gonna sound proper unbiased and shit, biased even, but I thought the main character should have been Cyrus. Because Cyrus, he starts off kind of like Yugi. He's very shy, doesn't have any friends, doesn't know how to make friends. And Cyrus isn't even a good duelist. He is a bad duelist. So he progresses. You see Cyrus go up the ranks, and he's got a big brother who's a hot shit duelist, and he goes up through the ranks, and we follow Cyrus's journey. At the end of it, Cyrus is a fucking ace duelist, Obelisk Blue, one of the top students. You know, it's just one of those sort of situations where, to me, it just seems like Cyrus. I want to put a baby here. Seems like Cyrus was. It's like when they designed GX. Like, oh yeah, we've got GX. We're designing it, and it's almost like they made Cyrus to be the main character. I thought this is a theory that I can never prove. But it's like they made Cyrus to be the main character. Like, yeah, our main character is going to be Cyrus. He's not going to be very good at dueling, but he's going to evolve. And then the head honcho people were kind of like, well, actually, no, we don't want our main character to be a bit of a loser. We want him to be the best duelist ever. You know, we want him to be hot shit. So. Here's another character. We'll like Cyrus, so we'll keep him in, but we'll have him be the best friend to this character who we're designing. It's like Jaden was just there to be cool and bring the kids in. Going back to my theory about them trying to make Jaden more like Yugi, I think my theory holds up because when it came to doing 5Ds. Look at Yusei. He is almost a carbon copy of Yugi. But to be honest, I don't mind Yugi. I don't mind Yusei. He is a kind of blank slate in many regards. But in the same way, he develops. He actually progresses and becomes like more than what he is. He grows as a person. But the thing about 5Ds, well, I'm a big fan of 5Ds. I like 5Ds just as much, if not a little bit more. Oh, baby! Or do you not share my opinion of 5Ds? Do you not like 5Ds? He hates 5Ds, apparently. But, the different 5Ds, I think, is almost as good, if not, I think, a bit better than original series. Not just because I thought the story's not necessarily. I think the story's as good, not better. I think the characters. Well, excluding Crow, I think the characters are slightly better, all in all. I don't like Crow. Crow is the Jaden of 5Ds. I need to remember to play this. Crow really is the Jaden of 5Ds. But Yusei, again, very much a carbon copy of Yami. He's kind of, his design's fairly similar, his hairstyle, his look, the fact he's a great duelist, has a tragic backstory, but I also like the sort of history he has with Jack and Crow, if you must. But mainly with Jack, who is the Kyber of the series, but Jack's a bit more human, a bit more. He's not at first. Jack is one of those characters. I love Jack as a character. He's again. Jack Atlas is arguably my favourite character because he starts off very much like Kyber, and he is very much a Kyber character. The difference is that he actually, he evolves. He changes. He's a good character. He's like a more. Oh, yeah, mate. Again, do you have a problem with my opinions right now? Is there something going on? But yeah, he's like Kyber, and he starts off very much like Kyber, but he's like a more human Kyber, which is, I think, a very important thing to remember. He evolves. Which is why, in many ways, Obelisk. I've never actually summoned Obelisk in this game. This is the first time. Which is why. Wait, what? I can't use his effect, can I? Oh yeah, I could do if I wanted to. I won't though. Go ahead. So that's why, and I think that's why 5Ds overall is just my favourite show. I mean, of all of them. Again, I think just because I love Jack, I love all the characters in that. Okay, so that's Yusei, carbon copy. There's not much else to really say about Yusei. He is pretty much a carbon copy of Yugi. Now let's talk about. Oh shit! Oh, you got Obelisk. Oh, son of a bitch! This little monkey ball has got just beat Obelisk. Fuck. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah. Then comes. Let's get on to Zexal. Now I'm gonna put my hand up. I've not actually seen. I've seen the first couple of episodes of Zexal. I've watched them for reasons. Not gonna go into it, but I have seen the first couple of episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal, and I gotta say, I don't like the characters. The fat guy's just the best friend. Tori's just the girl who's there. It's kind of Zexal again. It's going back to the formula of having, it's got so you've got Yuma who's got this little pendant around his neck that's it's slightly pyramidy, upside down pyramid shaped. Do you not agree? Upside down pyramid shaped, and inside it's got a spirit that only he can see that gives him advice and helps him out. So yeah, very Yami Yugi was Yuma. Very much, again, taking a lot of elements from the first show and just copy and pasting it with different characters. The difference is that Yuma, and this is why I think Yuma is actually a better character than Jaden, is that Yuma is actually not a good duelist to start off with. He's actually a bad duelist, It's like, in the show it even says, it's like, oh, big yawn. In the show it says, Yuma, you have never won a duel in your life. You are a really, he doesn't think his moves through. That's why when Astro comes along, he starts basically telling him how to win, giving him advice. But then Yuma grows as a character, which if I'm only, this is only going off Legacy of the Duelist, by the way, if I'm right. But it seems like that afterwards, at the end of it, Yuma has to duel Astral. If that's wrong, let me know. But if I'm pretty sure it follows the story's main duels, and if it does, then it means that Yuma has to duel Astra, because basically Astra's like, right, I have to find out if you're not shit anymore, if you're a good duelist. And he duels Yuma using, using all the numbers, and Yuma's like, okay, I'll just use my shit. Oh, baby. And basically, Yuma's just like, beats him because he's progressed. I mean, there are really silly elements that I've seen, like the scouters I kind of get. I mean, a lot of people took the piss out of that, but it made sense, it's like, it's kind of like Google Glass. It's kind of like, people don't want to see monsters, so you just wear this thing. I think, by the way, there should be when Google Glass is like out, there should be a Yu-Gi-Oh game for it, where people wearing Google Glass can watch a duel happen. I'll talk about it in another video, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Oh baby. But anyway, so you have Yuma. he grows, he develops, he becomes. What's the matter, baby? He grows, he becomes a better character, a better duelist, and he grows as a person throughout the series. There are, again, in Zexal, there are really stupid, silly elements, which is a lot coming from a show essentially about a card game. But Zexal really has some ridiculous elements to it. It just makes it. It was definitely set for a younger audience, and Yuma. But Yuma was actually. I thought Yuma was done. Yuma, I think, is what Jaden should have been, or Cyrus is what Jaden should have been. And then finally, we're going to talk about baby. Yeah, right. Finally, we're going to talk about Arc V. I'm going to put my hand up. I don't know much about Arc V. I don't actually know much about it. Only what I know is what I've heard from my friends Rob Art and Jace. As far as Yuya goes, though, he seems like the first proper go at a character that's more like Jaden than Yugi. So he's a great duelist, but he's not like going to school. So he doesn't have to be a great. He doesn't have to. You don't have to explain why he's a great duelist. He just is a great duelist, But he's going for the whole, happy-go-lucky, chill back. He's a clown, essentially. He is a clown. That's what Yu is. He has his duel monsters that are circus animals and performance animals, They're trying to make Yuya, I think Yuya is what they wanted Jaden to be. But I could never accept that, because Jaden was supposed to be a character who is going to school to learn how to be a better duelist. Yuya's not. He's part of, from what I tell, he's part of a team, and a performance team. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I'll be nearly done, mate. I really will. And so Yuya to me just seems like, I like Yuya as a character. He's not, he is fun and charismatic and laid back and devil may care and all that, but he's not like Jaden. He has we even get backstory from him. The story of the pendulum, how he got it. And the fact that he does this, he acts like a clown because his dad wanted to be the greatest, duelist and performer ever, and he's following in his dad's footsteps. He wants to be like his dad. So you kind of instantly you understand Yuya's motivation and what drives him. We don't get any of that with Jaden in the anime. We really don't. He's just he wants to get in Duel Academy because he wants to be in Duel Academy. He's a good duelist because he's a good duelist. There's no explanation to anything about Jaden. He just is. Now, as far as, and I just want to, and all in all, that is why I think Yuma is a better protagonist than Jaden. He just is. He's everything Jaden should have been. Are you banging my wall? Eh? Yeah, he's apparently baby doesn't agree. But yeah, he's everything Jaden should have been to me. And end of the day, when it comes down to it, what is it? I'm trying to talk. Do you not agree with my speech? Do you not agree? Who's your favourite character? Don't give me silent treatment now, baby. Who's your favourite character from Yu-Gi-Oh? Who is it? Is it this kid who I'm dueling now? Who? Cyrus. Cyrus is your favourite character. Is that because Daddy voices him? Yeah. Yeah, you got good taste. But yeah, essentially, that's more or less why I think Yuma is a superior character. I don't think Zexal's better than GX. I think, apart from some silly elements like Hasselberry turning into a dinosaur to fly into space to destroy a satellite, I think GX had better story elements than Zexal, but I think Yuma was a better protagonist than Jaden, and that's just my honest opinion. I mean, you're free to disagree. I don't honestly care. I mean, we all have our own opinions, and that's just mine. I don't like characters that are too perfect. I like characters with flaws. I like seeing those flaws. I like seeing those characters grow with those flaws, and how long. There we go. Make a fucking move. So it just goes to the. What are you doing? Why are you attacking? I don't even know the thingy's effect. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Shush, 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 shush. But I will say this. If they'd have made the GX manga, into an anime, totally different scenario. I'm gonna say this right now: the GX anime, the GX manga is way better. The difference is though, the manga was made after the anime, and I think the manga was actually sort of written by what's his face, who actually writes over Yu-Gi-Oh. Don't think GX the anime was written by him. I think it's the guy who wrote the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, who then wrote obviously Yu-Gi-Oh the show, wrote the GX manga, but I don't think he wrote the GX anime. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But in the manga, Jaden, oh god, for a sec, there, yes, in the manga, he's happy-go-lucky, and he's like, yeah, he's happy, he's relaxed and stuff. But it's explained why. It's actually more of a mask. His happy-go-lucky, don't-care attitude is kind of a mask because, we have a reason why he uses e-heroes. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I just had to sort baby out. He's with mummy now. So what was I? Was I talking about? I was talking about the manga, wasn't I? Yeah, I was talking about manga GX. What the fuck was I doing? I was doodling and ending turn. Right. But yeah, essentially I think the manga is just it for example, okay, so to tell you more about it, Jaden, it explains why Jaden uses the elemental heroes. There's this other guy, I can't remember his name for the life of me, but there's this other guy who's like a world champion duelist, who Jaden basically admires, and he uses the e-heroes that Jaden uses in the anime. He uses the original e-heroes. In the manga, Jaden uses what's been called the manga heroes, and he uses that because he basically looks up to this guy and proper admires him. So he's like, okay, I'm going to use these cards because I have nothing but the greatest respect for this guy. But then the guy, this darkness that's like the main baddie of the manga, it kind of takes control of him and puts him in hospital, and he's basically in a coma. So Jaden's kind of, and his wife's actually a teacher at Duel Academy. So Jaden's actually covering up the fact that that kind of bothers him and stuff with this happy-go-lucky nature, and it just, and to be honest, the characters aren't a big of a joke. Like Chaz isn't a joke in the manga, and just stuff like that. So I think if they made a manga, if they made an anime based on the manga, I'd be happy as Larry. Me, I'd be all over that. Forget about it. It'd be awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's more or less all I've got to say on the matter, really. I mean, that's kind of just my whole 2 cents there. There was new footage of new image of Alexis, who's going to be in Arc V, that's popping up. So I can't wait to see that. That's going to be pretty cool, I think. But other than that, yeah, I mean, all the characters do have their own flaws as well. Like, but you kind of just accept it. I don't accept it with Jaden. I don't accept his character as being what he is. I feel there should be more to it. Oh, not fucking Mecha Bunny. But yeah, that's kind of what I've got to say on the matter, really. Feel free to drop your own opinions in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Just be interested to hear who your favourite characters are, because I know a lot of people do like Jaden. I think it's a very simplistic appeal. Making a character go through some shit and then make him all dark and brooding. That doesn't make a character complex. It feigns complexity. It's ridiculous. So that's kind of why I didn't buy into the whole thing. Jaden I don't see as a deep and meaningful character in the anime. I follow Cyrus more as a character, and I think he was the main character of the show. Even I think as well. I think another I'm gonna go back onto why I think 5Ds is a better anime as well now, because while I've got some time, I'm gonna finish this duel and end the episode. But I'm gonna discuss more about why I think 5Ds is better. Because here's the thing, with Yu-Gi-Oh, with the original Yu-Gi-Oh, you had Yugi, who's the main character. Then Joey. We followed Joey. He had a story, so we followed his story. And Kaiba was the main character, and we were more sort of fixated on those characters characters like Alexis, like Taya, Tristan, to me, they always felt like they didn't really contribute much to the story. They were kind of there to be there, sort of thing. Joey contributed in his own way. Kaiba was, he was a rival beginning. He was the classic, rival character. And Joey was just sort of, Joey's like the underdog. Yugi's obviously the main character. All the other side characters, like Taya, Tristan, Duke Devlin, who was a villain, but then he became a friend character. Mai again, a good strong character, but wasn't really in it enough. She came back for a bit and then left, and then came back as a villain again. But the main characters who were always there, Taya and Tristan, they were there to kind of feel like being there. GX kind of felt the opposite of that. GX, you had Jaden, who was kind of there for being there. But then you had Cyrus, who was like the underdog. He was the character who was rubbish and who had to get better. But then you had Bastion, who was actually an interesting character. He was a genius duelist who was, he was always working out new calculations. And I'm upset they never explored more into Bastion than they did. I felt Bastion was a lot like all the other characters. Bastion was pretty shat on. And then you had Chaz as well, another great character. In the manga, as I said before, Chaz, really, really awesome character. I mean, that might be biased for me because Chaz in the manga just uses nothing but dragons and has fucking light and darkness dragon as a dual spirit. But he was interesting. He was more interesting. And so was Bastion in the manga. They were more interesting characters. They had more depth to them. Whereas in the anime, they were kind of, Bastion's there because he's smart. Chaz is there because he's a rival. Cyrus is there to be the best friend. They seem to have more interesting stories to them. But then they just got shat on. Just seemed very unfair, and it was GX just seemed more focused on let's make Jaden look fucking awesome, which is probably why in Abridged GX I kind of like taking the focus off him, because I think it gets another limelight. It's a parody, and I like focusing on the more interesting characters, and I think the side characters were more interesting. I don't think Jaden's an interesting character, which is why I made him, which is why in our series he's very obnoxious, very smug, bit of a I'm the best duelist. He knows he's the best. He knows he's the protagonist in his own show. That's kind of how I write for Jaden now, and I like giving the other characters a bit more to look at than just shitting on them all the time. We're having this fucking arm again. But yeah, I mean, then comes along 5Ds. Now let's talk about 5Ds for a second. Yusei is an interesting character. But what I like about Yusei is his rival, Jack, and then you've got Crow. All the other characters, they all have a background, and you don't find that out until later on. And Jack actually, we see Jack sort of, he's this cold, like heartless kind of guy. But then as the show goes on, he's still a strong duelist, doesn't give a shit. And he's kind of, I feel very, very Naruto kind of character, very like, I will be the best, nothing's going to stop me from reaching my goal of being on top. And he does get back there, unlike Kaiba, who's like, the only way I can be on top, again, is to defeat Yugi. That's Kaiba's thought. He's like, the only way I can be the best duelist in the world again, is to beat Yugi. Jack's like, I'm going to be the best fucking duelist in the world, I don't give a shit. And he does it, he gets... At the end of 5Ds, we have a flash forward even, where Jack is the top duelist, and it's because Yusei didn't carry on dueling afterwards. He didn't enter tournaments and stuff. But Jack fought back and was like, no, I am the king again. And he does take on Yusei near the end, and he does end up losing, but it was pretty close. What does he end up winning? Can't remember. I forget. I think Yusei won it though. I'm pretty sure Yusei wins it at the end. But, we got that sort and that's why I like Jack. He just has that element about him that's just strong and just goes in and doesn't give a shit. How am I losing to this kid? Honestly. I mean, I'm using a Kaiba deck, but I shouldn't be losing to him. Actually, that's going to get destroyed now. You know what? I've totally forgotten my face downs are as well. Diffusion and Ring of Defense. That's probably why I'm not doing too great. Alright, fuck it. Petting. Going off. So yeah, what else did I talk about now? I don't want to talk about too much now because it'll give me nothing to talk about in future installments. But you know, just going back onto characters here. Trying to think of more characters I can talk about. Going back to 5Ds, even Crow. Again, Crow is kind of, you know, very Mary Sue, very like, oh, he's a badass, but he's got a heart of gold. You know, he's a bit too perfect, and I don't like Blackwings either, so that doesn't help. But I didn't really. They tried making Crow a little too perfect. A bit less flawed. He's like, oh, he's a criminal, but he's not really. He looks after orphan children. And look how good he is. He's really good. Just look how good he is. Just like, fuck off. I'll decide. Just give me a story. You know, I don't need all that shit shoved down my throat. You know, let me decide if I like Crow or not. So it's just a case of fucking dippity doo. Let's have a poo. I don't know, but can I get Obelisk back? I think I can, but it'll go away in one turn. You know, it's, I don't know, it's just the way shit works, I guess. But yeah, let's see here. Should we talk about? I mean, let's go back to 5. Let's go back to 5 years. Let's go back to, and then let's move on to Zexal. You had again Yuma, main character, astral spirit in a puzzle like key that we had to care about, but again, it's just like Yuma didn't have anything to do. He was shit. You know, he was crap, and then he had to duel Shark, and he was gonna lose that duel. And then Thingy comes along, it's like, hey, do this. You was like, alright, I'll fucking do that. I'll go with that. But that's all I gotta say really on the matter. I'm just gonna finish this duel off now and call it a day for this episode. And for the next episode, you know, let me know what you guys think I should what deck I should use. Should I use a character deck? Should I use you know, what deck should I use? And don't say something like, oh, use a Yuma deck. I won't be able to. This is 5Ds only. 5Ds up. So, you know, anything before 5Ds, then yeah, then I'll make a deck for. Or if you think of an archetype you want to see me try using, let me know and I'll see what I can do. I'm not making Blackwings though. I am not making a Blackwing deck. I'm just not. So don't ask me to. I'll ignore it. I'll totally just go fuck off. I'm not making a Blackwings. I'll make a shit on this TV before I fucking make a Blackwing deck. See, this is the thing, because I'm limited to Kyber cards, and obviously he can synchro summon. I can't synchro summon. I got shit all. So I'm just gonna have to fucking go all out on him now. Don't care anymore. Just gonna fucking get him. Let's hit him with twin-headed. I was lucky. What does it even do? Your opponents? I don't give a shit about that. Go for that. Something I miss about these games is when the first Yu-Gi-Oh! DS game that came out was Nightmare Troubadour, and it was awesome. You know, what I liked about Nightmare Troubadour is when you dueled, you had like a field like this, like the bottom field, and then the top field was like a virtual, like a simulator, like you would see the monsters appear and shit. And I enjoyed that. I thought that was a really nice feature to have, and I'm kind of upset they got rid of it, to be honest. Where we just get, I mean, we still get animations, but now we just get this little combat thing at the top. Kind of wish they hadn't done that. I kind of wish they'd kept the monsters in the game. And you know, I just wish they would do something else rather than this. But yeah, I don't want to. Can't believe it. This kid never takes this long. I don't know why. I'm getting shit, getting absolute pap. This Kyber deck's normally pretty good as well. Jester Confit. What's this going to do? It's personal in your hand. This is the thing as well, the computer takes like 6 million years to make a decision about anything. No, I want to activate a card. Draw that. Here we go. Here we fucking go. Now what's this thing gonna do? Let's just summon fucking what? Z-Metal Tank. Attack. Pain. I love Pain. He's awesome. And we'll end this duel with Z-Metal Tank. Boom! Just like that. Yes, I did it. I win. Do you like my character with his weird hat? As you can tell, again, love Jack Atlas. My entire character just looks like Jack Atlas. So yeah, this duel was too long to create a replay. You know what? I'll live. I think I've caught it all. So yeah, we'll just call it. I'm going to save this. I know it was only a duel, but overwrite that shit. Right, well, I'm going to call it an end for that. Let me know if there's any topics of Yu-Gi-Oh! You want to open up in the comments below. Any decks you want me to use that obviously are within reason I can use. Leave in the comments below, and if this goes down well enough, then I'll make it a more common thing. Hope you liked what I had to say. Let me know what you guys think of my opinion. Give us any of your own, but please be nice. And I will see you guys later. So take care.